Alrighty, so I want to talk and front load this video and talk about the ongoing Ghost of Yotei controversy, along with the fact that there's two other dumb situations that kind of happened on the social media cesspit known as X. Um, I have returned to the site, by the way. I made a decision. I know this is completely on me, where I said in the past that I'm not returning to X, but I have returned. I have returned because it's for a strange reason, too. It's because I lost my Reddit, and my Reddit was my outlet to do things on and discuss and everything. And since that got, like, deleted for some dumbass, like, band evasion claims and whatnot, that means that I have no other outlet to really, vent my sort of frustrations or anything like that on. So I decided to return to X because of that. And hopefully I have more control over my feed, better moderation over my own feed, my own community. I can say what I want, and that's the reason why I returned. I'm still gonna be on Blue Sky as usual, just posting about cool video game shit, but I'm also gonna be over here calling out these grifters doing what I do. The other thing is that I saw people say, if you don't care about a topic, then why are you talking about it? Why are you covering it? And this is the usual straw man argument to try to make someone stop talking about something just because they don't like your opinion. Now, this has always been stupid, but I'm going to break this down clean. So, there was another guy that I was mentioning in my Ghost of Yotei videos, and I said something equivalent to, if you are going around saying that you are disinterested in a game you were never interested in the first place, and you decide to make a ruckus in someone's comment section, I said that is a validation, attention, horror seeking comment. And someone tried to play whataboutism with me with the fact that I made videos on it, even though I quote unquote don't care about the boycott. So, I'm going to say this slowly for the morons that don't understand these two concepts. Number one is that when I say I don't care about the boycott, that means that I don't care enough to align myself on your side. That's what that always has meant. I have the freedom of speech to say what I want on this channel, whether you like it or not. I don't care if you leave massive likes, dislikes at this point, etc. Because to me, as a content creator and talking about controversial topics, that's more engagement to the video, whether you are mad, whether you agree, whether you disagree or not, okay? That's number one, right? And I'm always going to talk about anything, whether it's controversial, whether I don't like it, whether I like it, etc. So who are you to tell me what I can and can't talk about? That is an argument to try to shut me up, and I'm not going to shut up on my own channel. If I feel like I need to make a video on something controversial and I know that it's going to get hate bombed or whatever, I'm going to make a video on it because I'm not afraid to express what I feel about controversial things. You already should know that by now if you've been a long-time supporter of this channel. The other thing is that I am also just kind of flabbergasted by that logic, because it's like, if you aren't going around and telling other people to stop talking about it on YouTube when they're definitely talking about it, it's definitely hot button, it's definitely a big thing that has happened in gaming, on social media and in the comment sections of PlayStation's own videos, and it's being noticed, then I don't want to hear it, because it just seems like you're trying to isolate and lump me out of a category, and it's not going to work. Like I said, I'm going to express what I like, whether I like something or dislike something, and if you dislike what I am saying, you have all the options in the world to avoid my channel at all cost. Use it, hold it close to you, and find it, because I'm definitely going to be talking about this shit for sure, and it's going to be front loaded on today's show. That being said, and I know some people told me, oh, I can't get past 4 minutes of the video. Well, I explained that after 4 minutes of the video. I don't know what you're on. Maybe you should pay more attention. I know this is TikTok brain era, so, I mean, there's no use talking to those people in the first place. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and this is the first topic here, and that is they came out, Sucker Punch came out, and they sort of reiterated the same statement that PlayStation did after they fired the guy that was making quotes about Charlie Kirk on Blue Sky, one of the Sucker Punch devs. They came and fired him, and then they made an executive statement saying that, I think we're aligned as a studio that celebrating or making light of someone's murder is a deal breaker for us, and we condemn that. Kind of in no uncertain terms, that's sort of our studio, and that's kind of where we are. So that's a public statement from them. You got your statement from Sony, you got your statement from Sucker Punch after saying countless times that statements should be made. And I believe this is not going to be enough for a lot of people, because now they're going back and they're saying, oh, you need to fire the voice actress for already doing the mocap and performance and the VA like months ago. So I don't know how you go back retroactively and fire someone who did all of their performance. That's kind of how you get into lawsuits if you try to scrub that away and delete it. I'm just saying, I'm not sure if many of you know how this works in the world of doing, stuff for video games, but I'm sure that is 100% fucking, someone's gonna take some umbrage with that if they were supposed to be in a game and they get scrubbed out, and it's like, what the fuck? Time to get sued, because where's my performance? Where is the credibility of, all my work being shown, all the documents and stuff that I signed and everything? If you think that they're gonna get rid of Erika Ishii at all, after they already paid this person, then I just feel like you are living in this delusional bubble, and a little bit of column B as well, where it's like, these people did not like this person in the first place, and they weren't interested in what this game was offering 11 months ago. And if they're not interested now, then it's like, I don't understand the whole ideal of reiterating that you're definitely not interested if you weren't interested in the first place. It's just like, you're just repeating like the same thing over and over again. And like I keep saying, actions speak louder than words. While it's closed, if they are closed, they stay closed. I don't need to tell a random streamer, hey, I'm not buying a game like billion times to them already, as if they didn't get the point the first time. And I would imagine that they ride the slow bus for a living. This is not going to matter in the grand scheme. Sucker Punch can paint this into a pretty pink bow, but there's still going to be people that sort of up in arms, even though they made statements. And I'm like, isn't that what you demanded? To see the company's view on the matter and how they handled it after the firing? So if they didn't shield the person that made the comments, if they didn't shield Drew, then what are we on about? What are we arguing about? That's sort of my whole stance on the matter, is that it just sort of is a situation that was handled expeditiously, right? Handled quickly is done, in my personal opinion. But we have also, and I think I said it best as well, I said that for the perpetually angry, these quotes were never going to absolve the situation for them, because it's not enough, and they want to call to arms against everyone. They want to get everything and everyone under scorched earth and fired. And I'm just like, I thought some of these people were free speech absolutists. I saw on the other side of the curtain, Grums was kind of trying to like deplatform and get the voice actress for GTA 6 canceled because she happened to share someone else's opinion about the Charlie Kirk thing, and it was negative. And I'm just like, now you guys are kind of starting to sound sensitive. You're starting to sound a little bit over emotional because someone didn't like who you liked, and it's just, they could say the most basic and civilized approach without celebrating death or murder or whatnot, and you just can't take it because you're in your feelings way too much about it. You cannot have any sort of adult emotional control about this at all, which is why you're trying to get everyone deplatformed and canceled, and you just now become the thing you hate. You were anti-cancel culture, now you are the cancel culture. So great job, I guess. Like I said, there are going to be those people that will celebrate the murder. There's going to be those people that don't care as much, and I lean to the side of, yes, murder bad, but I'm indifferent on everything, and this whole thing does not affect my purchasing history whatsoever. And I can feel indifferent, or I cannot care as much about the whole situation where it doesn't impact me or affect me to that magnitude where I'm going to go back and I'm going to boycott older fucking games that I bought like 10 years ago. And then we have this part, all right? This is where spike culture comes into play, and I believe this is not going to bode well for the people that are trying to boycott. I believe if you are serious and if you want to close your wallet, you boycott in silence, instead of going to everyone's fucking feed like mentally inept retards, right? And then threaten them. And I see this is like such fallible logic. If you are anti-death and you're giving people death threats and whatnot and all this bogus bullshit on social media, then it really, really hurts your cause. It diminishes it to a pebble, and it makes you look like a dumbass. It makes you look like a jackass, right? There's folks calling people terrorists, terrorist supporters, I guess because Erika Ishii made an Antifa post. Then there's people calling others the F slur. There's people calling others the R slur. I do think that it's justified to call you people retards, like you yourselves, but you're going around calling people this in context to them simply wanting to buy a game, which is kind of insane in my personal opinion. Whereas you personally, you're just dumb for doing this behavior, and I think you do deserve it. You call people incels, you're calling this dude, you're reporting him to the FBI and just a bunch of other dumb shit. And he said, you people are so outrageous. Most of you was not planning to get this game either way, but the fact that you want 98 to 99% of Sucker Punch employees to suffer, to lose jobs, and to also add to the fact they probably don't all feel the same way as this one dude does, like at least to be like very open about it on social media. So the how do I put this, the consequences and the weight of one should not affect everyone if they're all not acting that way in public, because we just don't know. So you want these people to lose their jobs, be homeless, possibly not be able to provide for their families because of the actions of a few, which majority I don't believe share the same views, is such a crappy negative mindset. If you wish on this, then every company in the world, even people within your own job, should be fired, because that's true. There's always going to be people within a space that will harbor or share or differ on differing opinions. Because I can guarantee someone in the company or organization or the products that you have bought have done supposedly condemnable acts. And I think going around just calling everyone evil is a label. It's a weird term that people are just trying to say to make themselves feel better just because. And I think that's, don't you guys believe in the Kirk memo of sitting down and discussing your differences? Like, even the people that you are standing for, like the person you are standing for, he had more of a backbone to engage in discussion, and you don't. So it's like, what the fuck? Okay. You're not even following in the footsteps of your idol and doing it in a space of friendly and conversational debate. I didn't agree with everything Kirk said as well, but I knew his MO. I knew what he stood for. And with the way you're doing it with attacking other people like this who are simply excited for a video game, I'm pretty sure that he will have human sensibility to denounce what the fuck you're doing. Like, it should be like, hey, in terms of debating, the other side who has the best points will be the victor. And this does not help your cause whatsoever. Stop this nonsense. The dev has been fired, the VA has been paid, and they do not earn anything further from the game, whether you buy it or not. Some of you are doing worse than the people you are complaining about. I'm not going to stop my purchase, and this leads to spike culture. Spike culture, if you don't know, is a thing of where people will decide to buy something on the case of the controversy creating cash or being constantly harassed over and over and over and over and over again. All that's doing is irritating the person enough to the point of possibly doubling down, and you have a boycott to adhere to for those people to be like, oh, well, I'm going to preach a message and say individually or outwardly, or go in someone's comment section and say, this is why you shouldn't buy X, Y, and Z. Your goal is to stop purchases of the game. And what you're doing by doing this behavior of being an irrational jackass and going around and harassing people that are normally excited for a video game, the only thing you're doing is you're pissing them off. We've seen spike culture in full swing with Hogwarts Legacy, people creating websites to spy, lurk, and basically turn people into villains just because they were buying a game that they did not like. And lo and behold, that example in history showed that with all the controversy, with all the fighting, with all the bickering, with all the misunderstanding of the developer quotes, that game still ran on to be a home run success, and ultimately that overarching boycott or the destructive critique of wanting the game to fail financially fell on deaf ears because the game was successful. And if this continues onward, because we have to take into account that Ghost of Yotei, it was created with a budget in mind that is similar to the original game, which is why it doesn't look like a super graphical leap compared to something like The Last of Us Part 1 to The Last of Us Part 2, because it's not like a $200 million project sequel. Instead, what we have is a game that has more features, but it's reminiscent to the first game in terms of their budget, which means it has a higher chance of making its money back completely, because based on low budget you can have a low risk high return, and many people don't seem to understand that. Why do you think they make horror movies for like basically pennies, right? Because the high return can be gauged so high if there is consumer interest into the product, where the said criteria makes more money. Look at Weapons. I think Weapons was made with a lower budget in mind, but it made like double, triple stacks on top of each other, which is absolutely absurd. So if they do the same thing and if they are successful here, I wouldn't be too shocked, considering how things are lining up. And once again, controversy creates cash, and once again, people are not learning their lesson, and once again, spike culture is a real thing, and people are upgrading their pre-orders to collector's editions because they're so tired of all this noise and nonsense. Like, literally, Pio, I'm looking at his feed and I'm looking at mental illness in motion. There are folks that are so mad about this that they are advocating death on Mr. Pio, even though the idea is to prevent more political violence. What the fuck? You have completely defeated and lost the plot to your own argument with the whole Charlie Kirk situation. Like, seriously, like, what the fuck? All right. So you're no better than the person who shot him if I put it into that context, right? If you are making DMs of this nature, and I know it's like not everyone, it's definitely a select mentally ill few, but it's an example and you need to call them out if you advocate for Kirk. If someone is like this, then don't you realize they dilute the message you're trying to stand for? It makes zero sense. Like, there needs to be an adult in the room when it comes to this whole ordeal. No one is worth this level of harassment just because they are simply excited to buy something that you don't like. So you decide to wish death on them because you're an idiot. Like, bro, we got another one here too. So I'm showing you people this, so no one says that I'm making it up or I'm fabricating it or everything like this. I sat there and I looked for this stuff and I screen capped it and I saved it and I bookmarked it. There was someone else, a countdown account for Ghost of Yotei, and he was like, well, you know, the countdown was canceled because he's sick of the tweets and harassment and beyond the threats of, you know, DMs and whatnot and people threatening him in there, and he went private. And this, he even changed his name to, it's not Ghost of Yotei Countdown anymore. It's like PlayStation Countdown, because I guess the harassment was way too great. And despite locking the account, it probably was a few followers still stuck in there, so he doesn't want to be bothered. This is absolutely fucking insane. And I'm going to add to the spike culture because I know it just makes people pissed, right? So originally, I was not going to get Yotei day one, and you know what I'm gonna say with this, okay? I was not gonna get it day one, but I was gonna get Battlefield 6 because Battlefield 6 is looking far too hype right now. I really enjoyed the beta. I was gonna wait and see for Yotei. Even I am on the spike culture train because now I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna get the game now, and well, I always planned to get it, but it wasn't a day one. But now it's looking like a day one for me, and I might get it in the next 4 days. So yeah, I've advanced my interest of the game to a day one purchase because it's a lot of you that are going absolutely crazy, and you do not plan to give the game the benefit of the doubt and a fair shake and judge it yourself. So I'm just going to do that for myself and formulate my own thought process on that. And if you are mad about it, well, you need to find something to do than to be mad at randoms who have intrigue in a video game online. You need to find something else better to do. You're not looking disinterested as you supposedly claim that you are if you are constantly reiterating this to someone over and over again. Uh, you do want to be listened to on the same spectrum. And part of me gets it, but another part of me does not get doing all this extra shit. It's always the extra shit, right? So don't be surprised if you do extra shit and people hate you and they double down on their own ideals as well, because that's the way the cookie crumbles. Anyway, and I agree with this post as well. You know, another person getting harassed, saying that, you know, they've been calling him and the fan base names, and they're still gonna be excited no matter what, and they're still gonna buy the game. They're gonna double down on their stance, and it's a lot of doubling, tripling, quadrupling downs, and it's like, what do you accomplish at that point? And then you're just gonna look like you have egg on your face, pie on your face, pie from the sky, when the game comes out, and if the game is received critically well, then you're going to be stuck there saying, oh, you know, a couple of weeks ago I said I was disinterested, but then it's going to be some people who have the urge to make a goddamn fucking Metacritic account and put a 0 on the game. And it's like, fam, what are you doing? Like, at that point, I would have to slap myself. Like, what are you doing at that rate if you are making 0 reviews to try to fit your own propaganda because a game came out and you're not supporting it? It's like, what the fuck? It's like, what the fuck? You're not supporting it, you're not planning on playing it, but you are making a review just to try to downplay it, and it's a 0. It's not even one that gave it a fair attempt. Like, oh, maybe this game is like a 4 or 5 or whatever. I played it and I know it wasn't for me. This is straight up fucking slander. Like, and this is how the gaming community kind of is at this rate, where the nuance is dead, the middleman is dead, and you have behavior which is equivalent to this, but the real ones are going to keep being the ones that will call it out, say it's bullshit no matter how many times they have to say it. And if they are standing on all 10 toes, standing down on business, that is just their opinion as well as you having yours. um Either way, you know, I am going to be playing the game as soon as I can get it near day one. I'll probably have it pre-ordered very, very soon, and I'll see how it goes. And this is coming from someone who wasn't really the biggest fan of Tsushima. I wasn't calling it a masterpiece. It was a fun game. It was fun, but it definitely got repetitive. And I was just like, oh man, I've seen better games with better open worlds, Red Dead Redemption 2, etc. So I hope the sequel is just way better. It cuts out on some of the repetition and it just goes straight into it. And I'm enjoying the fact that this is a revenge story. You know, you're going in and you're killing motherfuckers left and right who kill most of your family and clan members. So that should be fun and a good time, actually. I think that this game is going to be what Ghost of Tsushima delivered with extra options, and that's sort of my realistic expectation so far. That's sort of what I'm expecting the game to deliver. Next up is Hill versus Babyface. Now, I'm gonna go through these real quick. All right, this is just like small diet end topics of grifters acting a fool, but apparently Ass or AZ, he had a meltdown today because he thinks that this woman who was in James Gunn's Peacemaker is Victor Stone cyborg but gender swapped, and he had no idea that Sasha Bordeaux was an actual character in the DC mythos, the DC lore, known as an OMAC cyborg. I know they have different terms for OMAC as far as a manufacturer and a company goes. They usually sometimes call it one man army or anything of that nature, one man army cyborg, but these cyborgs are known in the DC universe. If you do a modicum of research and if you find out that they exist, right? You could have used Google for this. You could have educated yourself on this. You could have said, oh, my bad, I got this wrong. This is not Victor Stone. This is someone who existed in the universe for quite some time. Victor Stone was made by Star Labs, if I'm not too mistaken, because of his father, you know, trying to save his life at the last minute. So Star Labs and OMAC aren't even the same thing. Like, it's different in principles and sort of technology and what they use and everything. And he just did not know that. He would have been closer if they would have said this was a woman created by Star Labs and they said like Victoria Stone or something like that. But this is an actual character in DC, and he crashed out to the point where he's even calling children the Arsler. And I'm just thinking to myself, what the fuck? Are you that dense? Are you that stupid? Do you have so many fried pig chitlins rolling down your neck, creeping up to your brain, that you cannot do a hint of research, right? It's just a thing of you are proving yourself to be a tourist every step of the way. There's no way that someone like me, well, actually, someone like me probably would stomp all over you in a debate about DC Comics, because I'm pretty sure I know way, way, way more than you do about DC, and I will challenge you on that every step of the way. But this is what these people do. This is why they call them outrage farmers. This is why they call them grifters, because there is no need to double down on being so vastly incorrect. Like, where's the ratio? This is like 400 and something tweets, and a bunch of them are quote tweets calling you an idiot. So I guess, I don't know, you're ignoring the ratio. Bro cannot be for real. This is so funny. In the comments, people are pointing out this character exists. I mean, it does. Yeah, the character does exist, and it's like, why do people take take this dude seriously? Oh man, that's all people are doing because he made a complete idiot of himself. Az is a genuine moron. Being an anti-woke grifter devolves all your critical thinking skills. Yep, the human thumb. There's me. The human thumb got blown up because he's not a DC Comics fan and couldn't use Google for 10 seconds to validate if Sasha Bordeaux was a legitimate character. Bordeaux? Is it Bordeaux? It sounds French to me. You should stick to isolating those chitlin rolls off the back of your neck before talking about DC again. Uh, a little research could have saved you from this embarrassing tweet. Again, just because something is a cyborg does not mean it is the cyborg character. You can still delineate the two, even though Victor Stone has the cyborg name. They're still cyborgs in the universe, and you could see Sasha right here with a cybernetic arm. It's like, bro, like, and you think cyborg is the only person? Cyborg is an actual word. He got community noted. The post is implying that she is DCU's gender bit version of the cyborg because the term was used. She isn't. She's just a regular cyborg, like her comic book counterpart is, and has nothing to do with Victor Stone, the cyborg. This is such people still buying what this guy's selling. Full tourist mode is on full display here between this fella and Forge is the worst Palace fan. Okay. Every day I'm impressed by how stupid these people are. Just when I thought they couldn't get any stupider, they proved me wrong. You are genuinely mental if you think the only cyborg in fiction is the DC character named that. Oh my god, dude. Like, so-called comic book fan does not know comic book lore. Facts. Oh my god, popular DC character cyborg. He's doing a Dragon Ball. Why is he a blondie? Damn, DC wokeness is getting out of hand these days. Oh, okay. That's from Dragon Ball. I love it. You cannot be this fucking stupid. Starfield pronouns guy has found a new way to embarrass himself. Here's a fucking dictionary. Take it, Merriam-Webster, bitch. That's funny as fuck. You're so fucking stupid that, damn, well, I ain't reading the rest of that because that's a little much. Let's just say that's a little bit too much, but god damn, alright. He's saying, if you go off planet Earth from choking on a piece of steak, I wouldn't even feel sorry about it. God damn, man. Cyborg is a word, you dumb fuck. Like, Hill versus Babyface has always been fucking dumb. Ever since he complained about that child writing to his mother in Alan Wake 2 on the lunchbox and saying that it's woke, he was always a fucking idiot. So I'm not really even remotely shocked, but it's very good that this guy is only well known for being stupid in this situation with Cyborg, and also being stupid and yelling at the top of his lungs like he's about to blow his ears out with the Starfield thing. That's it. You are infamously known for being a lolcow. That's not being the silverback. That's not being the tough guy. That's just being someone who is not emotionally in control of themselves, and they have no discipline whatsoever to yell at 5 in the fucking morning and complain about Starfield and say fucking pronouns. You just don't sound like you have it in check, and your lack of research here is stifling to me. I love when people are so eager to hate on something that they end up telling on themselves. Like, this shit is hilarious. My god, you niggas are actually stupid as fuck. Oh man, this reminds me of when he tried to claim Midnight and Wildcat and Stargirl were DEI creations for the show, ignoring the fact that they had existed since the 80s. This dude sucks. I don't know. And people will literally legitimately get down on 2 knees and they will begin to start filleting his cock like he's right for something. Like, this is not even right. This is just blatant stupidity at its finest. Like, I don't this is why I thoroughly believe that if you live vicariously through someone on the internet and you're not paying attention to like the shit that they're trying to claim, especially in this situation, then at that point you're just as bad as they are for propagating misinformation when it comes up into the equation. Like why? Why? We can have all these disagreements or whatever, but at this point, this is just literally read a fucking comic book. Like, goddamn, bro. Bro still has that stupid in him. This that's an embarrassment. Okay, and just the last thing. So, let's look. Oh my god, there's two more. I'm gonna try to get through them rather quickly. All right. Obviously, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this, but then there's another dude that got ratioed because he is mad that he does not have panty shots on characters in Silent Hill F, and saying that the game is censored, non-binary, good luck with pandering to the modern audience. Why do you guys tell on yourselves? And I was like, isn't this a teenager? You freak ass, nasty nightwear, cum sock nigga. You PDF file, EDP cupcake, meet and greet, blobfish motherfucker. You Dubai chocolate, doodle brain experience having stupid ass motherfucker. Like, you are outing yourself as a pedo at this rate, or you enjoy fictional underage upskirts. And why do you people say this with your whole ass chest and you are not deemed as weird? I don't understand that shit. Like, I said this countless times before, when people were into the grape game No Mercy, and when people were into the fact that Tifa was they went back and they covered up some cleavage from Tifa in a flashback where she was 15 years old, and those people weren't saying, okay, that makes sense, that's understandable, she's underage at this point, it would make sense not to sexualize the character. There were folks actually mad about that shit and defending it and saying, this is censorship, this is bullshit, why they censored the titties. Like, just going into detail, right? At first it's like you start normal and then you devolve into this frustration of not having your lewd of a child, a teenage character, shit like that, and then you just start getting weird about it as if that shit is not weird. So when people say, hey bro, that's kind of weird, and then people will get mad at it, and it is kind of weird. Like, it just shows you have some harbored attraction to minor characters. Like, you were into a minor, like, fictionally. So if someone calls you weird for that, or if someone says you're into that, you can't really downplay it when it's right there live in 4K, and then people are wondering what your interest is just because the upskirt is not seen. And I don't, when people start going into detail like that, and they start making it worse, and they start getting more into depth, and they start trying to rally against it and whatnot, and I'm just like, bro, I don't, why are you so mad about it? It makes you look weird. Dude, it's like, well, I thought we were focusing on the video game itself, how good the game plays, how good the characters are, how good the story is, but now you have no underage upskirt for Japanese panties, and you are pissed about it. It just makes you look like a stupid bitch. It makes you look like a PDF file, bro. Like, you need to be locked up and have the key thrown away. Like, the fuck. Like, what are you fantasizing about, dude? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, seriously, like, this is all you think about 24/7 non-stop when it comes to video games? Like, okay, it's just like fucking weird, but it's like, Jesus, man. So that was another thing that got blown up. Now let's look at the comments, because I've been enjoying these other roasts or whatever. Is there? Please don't be porn. All right, I was about to say, if you hit replies, I was like, that's usually the button that I shouldn't hit. Oh god. Wanting to see. Okay, so you know. That's like, okay, like there's going to be few, if people are looking at the lewds of an aged up female or whatever, they're probably just being a gooner, but that's not as weird as doing the same thing for a minor. It's just crazy. Um, this is so goofy. Within fiction, of course. If you're going out and harassing people in real life and trying to do upskirts, then you're a fucking creep. But this is so goopy. At least give her a short. It's just like, bro, who cares? Like, it just is a self-report at best if you were super mad about this situation. Yes, pedophiles calling the game woke for not showing loot minors. It's, I'm also getting silent. I think I have Silent Hill F already, so I'm already trying to play it. What these freaks say does not affect. Stick some iron in your mouth. Damn. Okay. That was a quote from Cyberpunk, but thanks for outing yourself as a pedophile. Blah, 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 like popcorn theory. Let's see what else. Tremendo incel. Woke is when you can't look up the skirt of a 15-year-old. And it's just people roasting this too. It's just a typical stupid Twitter behavior and people outing themselves as like some weird ass predators. It seems. It's just Jesus Christ, bro. Why would you even want to look at that? People asking the simple questions, like, and I don't blame them for doing so. In PDF file, but like that's a literal child, you gross cunt. And then there's this. This is funny though. Like they're trying to cancel Indiana Jones because I think one of the devs liked a Charlie Kirk post. So then they wrote this around like a negative Charlie Kirk post. So they wrote this around to this random post with Indiana Jones petting a cat and Indiana Jones saying, "You don't care much about these fascists, do you?" And then they thought it was a veiled subliminal, and there's like a ton of people in the entire comment section of this post uh making a big ruckus about it. So you can't even tweet about Indiana Jones normally without getting this roped into the mix. It's just that's crazy. That's crazy. People like, oh, you deleted it, cowards, pussies, etc. I mean, maybe they deleted it because it's like, look at all the goddamn toxicity on this shit. Like, god, over a cat being petted by a character who naturally hates fascists. Like, do people even think before they realize? Like, okay, I put it like this, right? If they made no reference to Kirk here, like, if it wasn't any, because it's just too much of trying to do some detective work for something that's possibly not even there. Uh, if they wanted to be more direct about it, they could have put his face, put his image on a cat or some other shit like that, but they didn't do that. It's just Indiana Jones really petting a cat and saying a quote that was already in the game well before that shit happened. So someone on the other side of the aisle could make that argument of saying, well, it's in character, it's on brand for him to say some shit like that, and this character was made like 30 something years ago, or I don't know how long. Fuck, I'm just using an example, right? Like let's say 30, 40, 50, whenever Indiana Jones was made. I don't know. Was it in the 80s? I might be right, by near 30 years ago or something like that. I don't know. Because I'm not really. I need to go back and see the movies. It's been such a long time since I've seen them, but I know he hates fascists and Nazis and shit like that, and that's been a thing established long in the past. So it's a big nothing burger. You have to take the quote of the character in the context with how they were characterized in the first place, and it's something he would say. And now you're trying to cancel the game. They posted this. This is the same motherfucker where someone said "fuck Hitler" and he's like, "Oh, there we have it. Yikes." Just say you support Nazis, bro. Like, maybe that's why you're mad at Indiana Jones, because he supports the thing that he likes to punch out on a daily basis. So I don't know. That's just more self-reporting. Like, these people are crazy. Like, it's just more self-reporting on themselves when trying to make points, and it just seems stupid. Now, again, I will say this, like I did earlier, just because one person likes something or they have an opinion that's different or whatever, and like, let's say they're not celebrating death or, making jokes. And I think people getting canceled for dark jokes is kind of stupid too. Uh, but let's say they're not celebrating it and they just like someone else's fucking opinion and whatnot, and it's not them saying it directly. It's like there's going to be people in studios that do that, and we've seen disciplinary action given to the ones that were way too overt with it in the first place. Uh, this guy's like, it's Indiana Jones. Are you fucking stupid? Like, base Bethesda for hating Nazis. Like, could have been a subliminal message against fascists, maybe. But again, people said that Kirk is not a fascist, right? Like, he doesn't fall under that, right? There's the delineation between fascist fascist Nazi dictator. I don't know why I sound that. I made that sound like real sweet there for a second. I don't know why. I'm just laughing at that shit. But a fascist dictator, into Nazi rhetoric, and Kirk, who's just a right wing political debater, and you can thoroughly disagree with him on whatever basis you want, but I thought people intrinsically said they're not fully the same, so why would you believe that in the first place? That's kind of you're fighting shadows at this point. You just want everybody to be fired. Like, well, we got someone saying the F slur. I'm pretty sure he's. I tried to skim through it quickly. God damn. I want to go to the retweets here, real quick. Fucking madness in the replies. Apparently Nazis are mad that Indiana Jones, the guy who hates Nazis. Do they know that Bethesda also publishes Wolfenstein? Are they that fucking dumb? Yeah, the game where you blow away Nazis in the alternate fucking 1900s world and shit, and you fucking shoot Nazis in half with electric guns and all that shit like that. Like, do you guys know that Bethesda has 2 Nazi killing games, and they've been had that shit for the longest time? Like, what the fuck? New Indiana Jones game. Why is everyone a Nazi in the comments? This is the funniest replies I ever see. They just keep telling on themselves. It's like, well, they deleted the one post and then you just gravitated towards the other. What the fuck has this country come to? That's another thing too as well. Like, there are people who are not in America, like Pio. Let's go back to Pio with Ghost of Yotei. It is people. He's not an American, from what I know personally of him. Like, I don't have the biggest familiarity. Just a couple of offhand comments and associations and agreements, but he's not American. So why would you rope this guy into what is essentially an American political situation? Like, and he doesn't live in the US, so you would have some sort of degree of thinking of being like, maybe he doesn't, when it comes to American politics, maybe he's not fully in tune with it to begin with because he doesn't live in this country. So these people are so stupid, bro. Like, the more I try to break it down and try to see what's going on, the less this shit makes fucking sense, dude. Humanity has gone down the drain. You literally got people whining about fake discrimination because they identify as fascists. Like, the only people getting mad at this are people who are mostly into that sort of fascist mindset. Like, again, it's a self-report. If you are not something, then I would say you wouldn't make such a big stink about it, or you'd be like, I'm not this way, let me explain this in a rational way, as opposed to trying to get everyone deplatformed. The hell is Nazi Germany revived in the comment section? This is an all-time block list in the replies. Like, punching Nazis is always cool. Yeah, I agree. This is just, people are just insane at this rate. But for social media, even got a horror account saying you guys are fucking stupid. Like, goddamn, bro. Oh god, dude. This company supports murder, and what is on here is like, we know. Oh god. Okay. We'll see if this second boycott to Bethesda, we'll see if that sticks, if they decide to do some sort of Oblivion remaster type of experience for something like Fallout, or maybe a remake, because the way that game hit peak numbers for Oblivion remastered is absolutely diabolical. And if they deliver something like that again, which I know they will because I'm sure they like the optics of that, if they do it for Fallout or another Oblivion game that people want to see remastered or remade or redone, we'll see if this sticks up when that comes into fruition. Because I don't think that it will. I think that's hate can go away. Maybe not for some of these fascists being mad that fascist puncher is someone that exists in this video game, but I do think that it's all gonna blow over eventually, and it's just not gonna matter after a certain point, because like most things, people can't really stand on their own square. And uh the casual gamer, I'm sorry, like I gotta say this, like the casual gamer outweigh us in terms of their interests. Like if you capture the casual market in video games, then you already won at that point, because they are the ones who make up like a good bulk of the sales, and they aren't plugged in into this bullshit. They don't care about a bunch of this fucking controversy and these negative stances and this destructive critique. So um all you gotta do is appease those dudes, and it's over at this rate. Any boycott that people are rallying on is a wrap at that rate. The comment thread is wild. But that's all I have for today. Just laughing at all this dumb shit on X, and sort of having a good time. And I fucking hate you. I hope you die. I love kitty cats. The soy right in the comments because Bethesda's being based. This is crazy, but I'm sure more people will make a fool of themselves later in the weeks, and we'll have something to laugh at. So keep it gaming, keep it fun. I will see you guys next time. Later.